In an urban environment, automatic systems demand respect. When the shutter closes, one person's impatience creates an immediate trap. A person approaches a commercial doorway just as the metal shutter begins to descend rapidly. Instead of waiting a few seconds for the process to complete, this individual sees a small gap and decides to sprint underneath. It is a fatal error of judgment. The person crouches low, attempting to slide under the moving barrier. But the speed of the shutter is deceptive. In an instant, the rolling metal overtakes him. The individual is pinned and trapped as the full weight of the door slams down onto his body, resulting in a severe entrapment hazard. The attempt to save 2 seconds resulted in immediate injury and confinement. Never ever try to rush a closing automatic door or shutter. These systems are powerful, heavy, and unforgiving. That brief moment of haste is simply not worth the risk of being caught by the machinery. On a seemingly quiet city street, a pedestrian stands too close to the lane of travel. Inattention to the road can turn a moment of pause into a violent collision. Late at night, one person is focused on operating an intercom or key panel near a storefront. They are standing directly at the edge of the curb, completely unaware of the approaching danger. Their attention is fixed on the door, not the open street. Suddenly, a fast-moving vehicle, likely losing control, swerves violently onto the sidewalk. There is no time to react. The car slams into the person with immense force, sending them and debris flying. The sidewalk is not a guarantee of safety when vehicles operate nearby. On a busy, unpaved road, a flatbed tow truck is performing a high-risk lift. The car is being winched onto the ramp, but a worker stands perilously close, guiding the unstable load. He is positioned in the vehicle's fall zone. Suddenly, the load shifts violently. The car breaks free from the winch mechanism, rolling backward with fatal momentum. It flips, crashing directly onto the worker. In that single critical second, a routine job becomes a devastating crush incident. Working near heavy loads requires absolute separation. Safety protocols are not suggestions. They are the difference between life and lasting harm. On a quiet residential street, an early morning walk turns instantly into a critical incident. A pedestrian moves slowly through the lane, focused only on their path ahead. The street appears safe, free from industrial machinery or traffic. But true danger often arrives without warning. From the blind spot, a powerful animal charges into the frame at full speed. The pedestrian has no time to react, no chance to dodge. The animal slams into the person from behind, knocking them violently off their feet and throwing them hard onto the pavement. Always remain alert to your surroundings, even in seemingly safe areas. When sharing space with animals, their erratic movement presents a high and unpredictable risk. Vigilance is your only protection against the unforeseen. In a residential area, a cyclist approaches a major road junction. Failing to check for traffic or slow their speed, the rider continues straight, relying on assumption over caution. This single moment of distraction turns the crossing into a disaster. A dark vehicle moves into the cyclist's path, hitting them instantly. The force of the impact sends the rider crashing onto the pavement, losing control completely. In traffic, an assumption is always a danger. Every road user, whether on a bike or in a car, must confirm the path is clear. Always prioritize awareness over speed in mixed traffic. In the stone quarry yard, immense marble blocks line the tight working space. The constant movement of heavy material creates a deadly environment where awareness is non-negotiable. A worker is positioned near a shed, standing directly between the massive blocks and a heavy-duty truck maneuvering in the narrow lane. The driver attempts a reverse turn but misjudges the already precarious terrain. The truck's chassis catches an unseen edge, causing the vehicle to tilt violently onto its side wheels. In that instant, the truck's massive weight swings toward the worker, pinning him against the concrete structure. He is briefly caught in a crush zone, narrowly avoiding being trapped completely beneath the cab as the truck nearly rolls over. Co-workers rush in to stabilize the vehicle and pull the man free. This incident is a stark reminder of the danger of confined movement. When operating heavy machinery in tight spaces, every single inch of clearance must be confirmed before proceeding. Never risk human life to save a minute of maneuvering time. A spotter is an absolute necessity in a crush hazard zone. At a seemingly routine car wash bay, workers are cleaning vehicles in covered stalls. Suddenly, a violent failure erupts from one of the engines. The vehicle suffers a catastrophic internal explosion. A massive piece of debris is instantly launched at high velocity. The heavy component strikes a nearby worker, throwing him powerfully onto the ground. The incident highlights the unpredictable danger of maintaining proximity to vehicle failures. Safety demands distance from unstable machinery, regardless of the cause. Always respect the potential energy stored in any vehicle. Unpredictable hazards require maximum distance and fortified barriers. In a highly congested railway zone, chaos reigns as vendors and pedestrians ignore the infrastructure boundary. The environment itself is a trap, but a careless decision turns it deadly. A pedestrian attempts to cross the active tracks, believing they have time to pass before the fast-moving train arrives. They fail to confirm the line is clear, making a fatal gamble against a machine that cannot stop. The high-speed train, moving at full momentum, slams into the person and violently flings them clear of the tracks. This incident is a harsh lesson in respecting the absolute power of railways. Never, under any circumstances, attempt to cross active train tracks without clear, confirmed sight of the full line. Time saved is never worth the life lost. On this urban construction site, a crane is positioned on unstable ground to handle a challenging maneuver, lowering a piece of heavy machinery into a deep trench. The operator fails on multiple counts. The outriggers, the machine's stabilizing arms, are either not fully deployed or are resting on soft, compromised earth near the pit's edge. As the crane extends its boom and the full weight of the backhoe is transferred, the critical load limit is instantly exceeded. The lack of proper stabilization is immediately and tragically apparent. The crane's entire structure begins to tilt with dangerous speed, unable to handle the lateral force. The massive vehicle rolls over, crashing violently onto the edge of the pit, throwing the suspended backhoe down into the hole. Nearby workers scramble for safety as the towering machine collapses. Never ever exceed the rated load capacity of a crane, and always ensure outriggers are fully deployed and secured on firm, level ground. Ignoring stabilization turns a powerful lifting tool into an instant, catastrophic hazard. A seemingly simple repair turns into a severe hazard as two workers operate a powerful concrete saw inside a trench without proper protective gear or safe working distance. Working against a foundation wall, two men are deep inside a narrow trench, dangerously close to one another. One worker operates a high-speed gasoline-powered concrete saw to cut through an underground pipe. Neither man is wearing a hard hat, and the one assisting is bent directly over the cutting zone, exposing himself to immediate risk. The vibration, the dust, and the confined space amplify the danger. A momentary slip, a shift in the ground, or a loss of control of the saw could instantly lead to a serious injury in this constricted environment. The proximity of the workers is the main safety violation. Never ever use high-powered cutting tools in such a tight, shared space without adequate personal protective equipment, especially a hard hat. Always maintain a safe working distance from active blades and ensure the trench is secure. An attempt to illegally evade payment and jump a subway turnstile leads to a sudden loss of control and a painful consequence for the commuter. Inside a busy subway station, a person approaches the fare gates, deciding to bypass the proper payment method. Instead of using a card, they attempt a dangerous maneuver, leaping over the turnstile's barrier arm. This action is a clear violation of public transit rules and puts the individual at immediate risk. Misjudging the height and the momentum required, the person clips the metal bar with force. The sudden impact instantly halts their forward motion, causing them to pitch headfirst over the barrier. They crash hard onto the floor on the opposite side, the sharp stop resulting in immediate injury. This moment serves as a painful reminder. Shortcuts in public areas often lead to disaster. These barriers are not only there to collect fares, but to regulate flow and ensure safety. Never ever attempt to jump or bypass public access barriers. The minimal cost of the fare is always less than the physical price of a sudden fall or injury caused by illegal transit evasion. What was the most important safety takeaway for you? Share your insights in the comments below. Your contribution helps turn accidents into lessons and lessons into saved lives. Stay safe, and we will see you in the next analysis.